Hey guys, welcome to the Bite-Sized Tactics Lab. Today we're talking about chain flanking in Age of Wonders Planetfall. This video is going to explain the technique of chain flanking enemies with range attacks. Basically, chain flanking is hitting the same unit with multiple flanking attacks in sequence. And chain flanking relies on the fact that non-heavy units will face their attacker when they're hit with a flank attack. So normally, this is kind of a defense mechanism for our unit. In this case, we're going to plan ahead and use this to our advantage. If we can intentionally synchronize our range attacks so the enemy's always facing the wrong direction, we get the most damage and efficiency out of our attacks. So below you'll see there's kind of taken right out of the in-game description of what flanking is. It's essentially just getting hit from the sides or the back. Units that are in guard mode, note, cannot be flanked. Something to keep in mind. Units, and actually we'll get into the next screen here in a second to show kind of the impact of unit direction and how important that is for this concept. But note though, there's a base 20% damage increase for any flanking attack that's done. So that's really the whole reason why we want to be executing these attacks. So it can be kind of hard to see sometimes, and so I wanted to bring up a screenshot of this just to make an example. But when you're highlighting an enemy unit, if you hit 2 on your keypad, it'll show you basically the rotation for that enemy unit. In this case, this quartzite liquid flame unit is facing directly towards my syndicate runner unit across from it. It's always the dark green hexes that'll show you which way the unit is currently facing, and I only explain this because in some cases it's hard to tell, depending on the unit model, which way the unit is facing. So anyways, let's take a look at a video demonstration of what I've been talking about here. So what you'll see is we're going to use this sequence of events here with 3 ranged attacks. First one, we're going to have an indentured unit move up and take its first flank attack. And that one hits. Now notice the unit has repositioned itself to face the attack that was just done. Now, before the enemy unit was facing my runner, now my runner is able to swoop in and execute the second flank attack. And you'll see once again, enemy unit is doing an about face to face my runner. Lastly, my last indentured unit here will come in and hit them with the final. It's actually going to be a critical hit, flanking hit there to finish off the unit. So pretty easy to hopefully easy to follow and understand example of how to execute that chain flanking technique. So to recap quickly, flanking and especially chain flanking, they're kind of essential to getting the most out of range combat in Planetfall. A couple things to remember: a unit in defensive mode cannot be flanked. Base flank attacks do 20% more damage. There's of course some units' abilities, effects, and mods that can increase this, or decrease it, I guess. Any unit other than heavy units will always turn to the attacker when they're hit with a flank attack. And lastly, don't forget your order of operations to make sure you're using, your attacks are being executed in the right sequence to make this all work. So keep these things in mind. Look for the opportunity to set up these attacks. Hopefully you'll understand that, this is although it's kind of a beginner or intermediate skill in the game, once you start thinking about how these things work, you'll maybe start thinking about how you can combine other skills, effects, and abilities in kind of similar ways to do even more interesting things in the game, which of course is what makes Planetfall such a fun game to begin with. So hope this was informative and helpful for you guys. Feel free to leave questions or comments below. Thanks for watching.